Welcome to People's Daily Talk. This is Hui Lan reporting from Beijing. Joining us today is Mr. Jens Eskelund, President of the European Union Chamber of Commerce in China. Hi, Mr. Jens Eskelund.
Nice to meet you, and thanks for having me today. I've been looking forward to this.
China recently concluded its annual two sessions meetings, which offer the world a window into the country's development and understanding of its policy outlook. This year's two sessions showcased China's commitment to expanding high-level opening up. As a business leader who has lived and worked in China for 25 years, what is your main takeaway from this year's two sessions?
I think all of us learned a new word this time. I think we have all learned to say new quality productive forces. I think that has sort of emerged as a new buzzword that we all need to understand, and something that we will study going forward. Other things that I noted was that China has set a quite ambitious goal for economic growth, around 5%. Things that I personally thought were interesting and important to address is hukou reform, which I think will improve the quality of life of many people and also potentially lead to additional economic growth and opportunities. Also the focus on skilled laborers, both educating skilled laborers, improving the standing of skilled laborers, and creating sort of more respect and better conditions for people who choose the path of engaging in skilled labor. I think that's important. This is something that China needs. So I think there were many interesting aspects of the NPC this year.
In this year's Chinese government work report, opening up has been highlighted. In fact, China has long been taking active steps to boost foreign investment, including the release of a 24-point strategy last August to improve business environment for foreign investors. How have these measures been implemented, and what has been the response from the European business community in China so far?
I think, first of all, the European Union Chamber of Commerce very much appreciates the release of these 24 measures. We have seen already now the implementation of some of the measures, one related to income taxation, another one we have seen related to visa-free travel. But there's still some work to be done. So really, I think the extent to which this is going to have a long-term positive, meaningful impact for companies, that really depends on this being implemented in a really meaningful, deep and solid way. And we are in dialogue with authorities on that. A very positive step that they were announced. Now the hard work awaits ahead. We need to make sure that they are implemented in a manner that creates real value and opportunities for companies and for China, of course.
We've noted a quickening pace of some investment growth from several major European economies. According to recent figures, in January, the FDI from France witnessed a 25-fold growth, while that from Sweden saw an 11-fold increase. Germany also had a over 200% increase in its investment in China. How do you understand these figures, and how do European multinationals currently see the Chinese market?
When we talk to our members, we see two predominant trends. One is that the investment by European companies in China is predominantly now being profits in China that are being reinvested in China rather than capital coming into China from abroad. We think this is a significant trend. Another thing is that irrespective that we see in individual months certain growth, we still think that the investment level by European companies in China is too low. If you compare to other countries that Europe invests in, the amount of investment in China is still very, very low. That tells us that the potential to invest more is actually there. So now I think the focus and the dialogues we want to have with the government is about how can we work together to ensure that there will be a better realization of this big potential, that we actually succeed in attracting more investment into China.
In recent years, some people have raised the idea of economic decoupling. I wonder, what's your take on that? Why do China and the EU need each other at this stage, given the uniqueness of our relations?
Yeah. I think it has been a trend across the world that countries are looking at economic security. However, it's important also that it does not become an excuse for protectionism. I think when you look at the relationship between the European Union and China, it's without doubt that that relationship has created an enormous amount of value, both for Europe and for China. And we believe that the relationship has the potential to create a lot of future value also. So for us, it's important that we find ways to talk about these difficulties we might experience in parts of the relationship, so we do not ruin that potential for future value creation in the bilateral relationship. And there are some issues right now that needs to be addressed. So I think it's important that the leaders meet, that they build trust, and they are having frank conversations with each other about the concerns in Europe and the concerns in China. So together we can work out solutions that work for both sides.
Yeah, what you've mentioned is very crucial for us to promote the bilateral ties. Next, I wonder what agenda does your chamber have this year to enhance China and EU business exchanges?
It is very interesting that your last question was about de-risking, because just next week, on the 20th of March, we will actually be publishing a report just about de-risking. Again, with a call that we understand what is reasonable de-risking, what is reasonable in terms of self-reliance, and what areas perhaps we should avoid. We want to help create a discussion about how we can trade, how we can collaborate, how we can invest with each other in ways that takes into consideration the concern of the other party. Then again, I think that's important to us is that we work really on increasing people-to-people exchanges. That's one of the things that we have really been missing over the past 3-4 years. And very, very important that we get that up and running again. And in that context, it's very much welcome that China has established this visa-free travel policy. That is one of the concrete and specific things that China can do in order to help facilitate, make easier to have these crucial people-to-people exchanges.
Looking ahead, what trends in the bilateral trade ties between China and the EU are coming this year and beyond?
One of the things that concerns us right now is that we are seeing overcapacity happening across a lot of industries, whether it's new energy, whether it's automotive, whether it's chemicals or metals and so on. We think it's very important that these overcapacity issues are addressed before they become big trade issues. So I think the two sides need to find a mechanism where they can talk about these things so that we can continue to trade, we can continue realize the potential for collaboration, while at the same time making sure that vital interests of the other party is taken into account, and sort of the economic viability of both European industry and China's industry is being considered.
Well, Mr. Eskelund, thank you so much for sharing your insights on investing in China with us today. Last year, we just marked the 20th anniversary of China-EU Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. We truly look forward to seeing more dialogues and exchanges across the board between the two sides.
So do we.
This is today's PD Talk. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.